Hello, I am Suzanne Spooner, and this is an official QHHT session segment.
It's rather made of gold. It's a huge pyramid, and well, it's quiet, and it feels peaceful somehow because these are gigantic pyramids.
Nice. So there's more than one?
Yes, there are more than I see from where I stand. I see at least 3, maybe 5 at the distance, but they're huge.
Nice. Okay. And does it feel like daytime or nighttime?
Oh, it's a day. It's very sunny, so just sand around the pyramids, the blue sky. It's it's a daytime. It's not hot. It's just very bright light.
Nice. And do the pyramids all look similar to each other?
Yeah, and it looks like they're huge. They're made of something shiny. I would say, I don't know, gold, but well, I don't know how you can make them of gold. But that would be too expensive, right, for the earth? Well, but anyway, so they're made of a shiny metal, and they're beautiful. There are some symbols on each pyramid. From what I can see, they're going very up to the sky.
Wow. And the symbols, what do they look like to you?
Well, from those movies I saw, they look like Egyptian symbols with those animals and stars. I don't know how to read that language, but they're like Egyptian language.
Okay. And do you see those symbols over all of the pyramids, or is it just in certain areas?
Oh, this pyramid that closer to me, I'm looking at it right now, and yes, it has those symbols all over. Well, at least as far as I can see.
Okay, because it's very big, it sounds like.
It's like a huge, multiple tattoos on this huge structure. The symbols are carved in that gold pyramid.
Okay, very good. You're doing really good. All right. Anything else that you notice there that you want to mention?
There is sand, the pyramids, and when I touch it, the symbols are really carved on it. Well, I guess that's what I see.
Okay. All right. Do you want to stay and look at this place more, or do you want to continue on and maybe come back to it if it's important?
I would like to exploit this place.
Okay.
We can stay here, yeah.
Okay, very good. So I want you to bring your focus to yourself. When you look down, do you see your feet?
Yeah, I see the boots. And those are designed to walk on sand.
Can you describe what they look like?
They're like yellow boots, and they feel comfortable. They're soft, and well, again, they're just designed for, well, to walk on sand. And I don't feel, they're very comfortable.
Do they come very far up the leg?
It looks like, yes, they're going up to the knees. They just cover my feet and legs, yeah.
Okay. And what do you wear on your body?
Okay, it looks like I have a coat, a white one. It's made of fabric and, probably one of those that Egyptians, they put on them. It's white, yeah, it's white.
Okay. And do you notice any jewelry or ornamentation on your body?
No, there is no jewelry. Well, from what I can see, just this fabric, like coat, and the body feels like male.
Okay.
And I don't feel it. Again, I just look at myself from the distance mostly. But when I focus on my boots, I can see them. But when I look from outside, I can see a man, maybe from 40 to 50 years old, beard, and he has this hat on his head. Just those that Egyptians, I don't know how to say it, but it's very typical for that culture to wear this hat.
Can you describe what that hat looks like?
Yeah, it's spherical. If you take a piece of fabric, let's say a blanket, let's say, and you try to cover your head, you just put it on top. It looks like most like from Muslim country. Yeah, that guy looks more like Muslim, I would say.
Okay.
Not Egyptian, sorry, Muslim, yeah.
Okay. And how do you spend your time there? What do you do?
Well, I'm an explorer. I came here to do my job. I'm exploring those pyramids.
Oh, interesting. And what are you exploring the pyramids for, I wonder?
There is a connection between these pyramids and the universe. And I'm sent there to figure out this connection, to read the language, and to translate it, and to send it to the council.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna take all that information that's on the outside of the pyramids and...
Yeah, I need to deliver this to the council.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And so how do you go about doing that work?
Well, I need to read the symbols. I know I can. I just... it's my job is to read. The job of that worker that explorer, to read the symbols. And the way he reads them, he just touches them, and it's like telepathical, but through the touch.
And then once you read them through your touch and telepathy, what do you do with that information?
Yeah, I need to accumulate it somehow. I need to read it. Okay, when I touch it, I think that I know when that language for blind people developed. It's based on the Egyptian symbols. When you touch them, the symbols that I carved on the pyramids, well, that's the same concept. So it's a combination. The way how the Egyptians made it, since we're blind, it's very metaphorically. We humans, we don't understand what the Egyptian gods put in those pyramids as their language. That's the information. So just read that language like we're blind. And it's the telepathy, but not the way that we used to think. It's not just reading someone's mind. I mean, another human mind. You're reading the mind of the God through that symbols.
I bet that's pretty interesting, reading the mind of the God.
Yeah, but the mind that they let us to read, they put in the pyramids. That's the knowledge. That's the knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, as you're doing that, explain to me what that's like. Are you moving very far up the pyramid? You said the symbols are very high.
It's a pattern. As soon as I read those symbols that in my reach, I can understand the whole language, the whole message, because it's all the same. The symbols, they are patterns. They repeat itself throughout the whole pyramid body. They've done it in case of some parts of the pyramid will be destroyed, so we could still get the pattern, get the message.
Oh, interesting. And so, I'm just curious, is each side a different pattern, or is each pyramid its own pattern?
Well, from what I see, each pyramid is one pattern, is one message.
Okay. So wonderful. So let's move forward just a bit to the pyramid that you're looking at when you've figured out the pattern, and explain to me what you discovered with that pattern.
Okay, I'm in my physical body, I'm a human, and I'm trying to understand why they haven't read this before, because it's so obvious. And then I understand that they cannot see this pattern. I mean, they see the pyramids. Those are those pyramids that are in Egypt right now. But they don't see the pattern, and they don't have the language. They don't have the symbols. They don't see the symbols. Because to see them, you need to touch them. And you need to have this special skill. You need to be awakened, either a third eye or something. I don't know how I've done it. But for some reasons, I have the skills to read the pyramid language. But other people, they cannot see it. So the gods are those who put the symbols on the pyramids. Those symbols, they have this knowledge hidden. Not everyone can read it, because it's so powerful, this language. Only those who are allowed, and the council sent me. So I'm reading this. I'm a part of this. I'm still a little one from the Guardian, but now I am the reader of that language.
Nice. And what does that language say to you?
Well, from my understanding, it's a portal. Each pyramid is a portal. And if you know how to use it, it will bring you to the council. It's a portal. It's a transition from every planet to this universal. The council meaning that to that dimension, and they are in the 12th dimension. From any dimension, you can use that pyramid to go to the 12th dimension. Of course, it's your energy goes, but you can. It's like a huge portal. It's a ship. The pyramid stays, but the language set there. So, and there are different parts of the 12th dimension. Each pyramid, it's like a portal. They can bring you to a certain place there. The council, it's not just the council, the council meaning that the organization, that's what I mean, the 12th dimension. The government, otherwise. So that's the government of the universe. How they send their, like me, people to this planet through the pyramids.
Okay, and so you're reading the pyramids and sending that information back?
Yes, the way they did it this time, they want a human. It's a test. Then they need to see if a human, a physical body, can read the pyramid. If there are some people, those volunteers who are here, if they're weakened enough to read that language and to use the pyramid properly, and not just... so it's an alternative way to send people back and forth. They're testing the Earth facility, I would say, to see if the pyramids are functional the way that they were designed. Because they haven't, they used to send people through these pyramids, but they were millions of years ago. And the pyramids stopped functioning after that, because the people didn't know how to use them, and they don't want this pyramid to be in their own hands. So it's a test. I am one of the, in a physical body, like a human, and they gave me the enough information to read the language, but they want to see if I can actually use the pyramid to go to the council.
Oh.
I'm kind of representative of the humanity, if the humanity is ready to use the pyramids or not, because the Earth said it's ready. The planet is ready, but she cannot say about the humans. I mean the planet.
And so are you doing that work with the other pyramids as well, or are you primarily just with that one?
I will eventually need to check out all the pyramids there. And some of them are fake pyramids. There are only 3 pyramids that are actually functional.
Oh, tell me more about that. Why are there fake pyramids?
Well, the fake pyramids, they don't have that energy. It doesn't have the symbols. The real pyramids, they have this language carved on the pyramids. But again, not every human can see that. Only the humans who are, well, who can read that, who can feel it, who have this knowledge.
And so as you continue on in your work with that pyramid and seeing if you can travel back to the council using that portal of the pyramid, what happens next?
I'm curious because, I'm human. Okay, they send me to do this task, but I'm not rushing it because I really want to explore what's inside the pyramid. But it's interesting. It's an iceberg. Well, it's the same concept as an iceberg. The pyramid we see, it's only a part, it's only a top. But the whole body of the pyramid, at least 9/10 of the pyramid, goes deep inside the earth.
Oh.
That's how the earth connects, the central part of the earth connects to the universe. So these are the portals that are going through the center of our planet to the council. Not just from the surface. Surface is a tiny part of our planet. That's how our planet communicates with the universe. These are like antennas.
Okay, all right. So take me, as you do your work, to see how things are in the pyramid and how you make that connection to the council using the pyramid. What do you do next?
Okay, I'm trying to find an entrance inside, but there is no entrance. Well, there are some entrances that tourists use, but that's not the actual entrance. The actual entrance is deep inside. And I know it exists. It's funny, I see it. I see the entrance. I mean, when I stay aside from the distance, I see but it looks like it's another dimension. It's not in the 3D dimension.
Oh, sure.
That's why humans cannot get inside the pyramids, because it's hidden from us. It's in another dimension.
And so, but you can see the other dimension and go in?
I can, yeah. I can see the other dimension, right. I have this knowledge. They give it to me to go deep inside the pyramid, because I'm the one who needs to report eventually if it's ready to use or not. The planet Earth, she said it's ready, but the council is not sure about that.
Oh, okay.
That's why they sent me to check it out, if the antenna works, if the portal works.
So do you go into that other dimension to go deep into the pyramid?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now, because I'm really curious. I thought, oh gosh, I didn't expect this. Who would thought it's like an iceberg type, because people were focusing mostly on the pyramid itself, but it's like a cap. It's like when you have a bottle with something very valuable inside, there is a cap. But what humans did, they just studied the cap. They don't know how to open it. They just studied this, but they didn't see the whole bottle. But what's inside is the bottle. It's the vessel. The vessel has all the knowledge, all the energy, which is down the pyramid.
Nice. So as you're going in then to that vessel, tell me what that is like.
Oh, it's a library. It's a huge. It's interesting. So it looks like when I go down, there is a spiral ladder, and I'm just going down. It's made of stone, and then I'm going down, and it's like a huge library with little chambers there, and it's made like a tower. So, and it's just enormous. It's huge. And when I look down, I see all these chambers. That's the information. These are the codes about everything that happened on this planet, on the Earth. It's a library with all the information.
And what do you do next?
I'm just going down because I want to see where it ends. I don't want to report to the council. I will keep quiet for a while, tell them I need to look, because I'm curious. I want to see what it's in each chamber. Since I have this knowledge, I'm just a little kid trying to play with all of this. I'm so excited.
So share with me some of the knowledge that you pick up in those chambers.
Well, I'm trying to think at the same time. So you see, humans, they thought there is a treasure in pyramids, but they thought treasure it's like gold and I don't know, some gemstones, but they didn't understand that the knowledge is the treasure is the knowledge. That's I'm opening up one of those chambers. It's like when you open an oven.
Yeah.
So there is a metal cover, like a slide. You pull it, you open it, and there is a tunnel. I didn't expect it. I thought there will be a book or a code. No, there is an open tunnel. But it's... Okay, the more I look at it, the more I understand it's a tunnel. And I can actually... the more I look at it, the tunnel is getting bigger. It's like the space is expanding. It looks tiny, but when you look at it, the space is expanding. And I am now inside the tunnel. I'm going inside the tunnel. I'm trying to think either I got tiny or the space expanded.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm inside the tunnel. When I realize it's a portal to another dimension.
Oh.
And, I don't know what is that, maybe the fourth or the fifth one. But in the other dimension, it looks like a fifth or the sixth. So you don't have space as a confinement anymore. Because you can move the space, you can shape it up. That's what's happening here. Well, this chamber, this specifically chamber, I was curious to get inside. It's about how you can shift the walls and how you can go through the walls. Each tunnel, each chamber shows you the knowledge that is hidden. About apparently this one is how you can go through the walls, how you can expand space, and how you can move in the space without the walls. There is no confinement. Let's say if you want to go to the end of the tunnel, you can easily get there. It's just how your mind, how your energy brings you from one space to another.
Interesting. And so what do you do next?
Okay, I decided to play a little bit here. I wanted to make my own castle here. I'm using the energy of that chamber, of the tunnel, to make castles, to make homes. I did these big arcs, and I'm trying to build my own pyramid. Okay, I'm just playing. I love it. It's like a Lego for kids that we buy, when you can make the bricks, their own bricks, and you can build whatever you want. But this is enormous. I can build very huge castles, big houses. When I think about them, they just start building by themselves.
Just with your thought?
Yes, just with my thought. I direct my thought to build houses, to build buildings there. I mean, now I'm building the pyramid, the castle. So I guess, yeah, I'm playing with that. But there is time I need to report to the council. But I don't want to go. I want to stay here and play.
And when you explore other chambers, what else do you find in there? Is it similar or different?
Hey, let me see. Okay, I'm out of the chamber. I would love to stay there much longer, but I can't. Okay, and the council knows. They know I'm playing. Anyway, I'm going to another. I'm very spooky. I want to see what's inside another chamber. Let's see. No, I'm not allowed. I cannot. I tried to open the chamber, but it's not opening because the council cut me off. Oh. Okay, but the solution is yes. The humanity is ready to use the. I am reporting to the council. All tunnels are functional, and the Earth is right, so the pyramids can be used. When the Earth goes to another dimension, this facility will be ready for them.
Okay, interesting. And so when the Earth goes to another dimension, that facility will be used specifically how?
They will be used first as a to teach humans, because the new humans in the fourth dimensions, they need to know how to use the facility. It will be like a museum, but the school at the same time. You will use this. You need to gain this knowledge very fast. Because when they come to this new dimension, I mean, those souls who will be reincarnated here, they need to know how to. Well, it's not all humans, of course. There will be only selected humans, those who will teach others in time, but only those who are selected. It's like a demo for them. It's like, it's a school, it's a facility, it's like a lab when you get trained and then you train others. But the actual purpose of that is to get the information about the Earth that hid inside. They need to learn this information, and they need to gain this knowledge, and they will use one of the purposes of the pyramid is to connect these people to the council, those who are selected, but only the guardians will be allowed to use the portal.
Okay. And being able to see the entrance through the other dimensions, how will people be doing that, do you think?
Those who are ready will be using other dimensions to learn, to communicate with them. Well, I would say with their doubles, because some people, they live in multiple dimensions, so they can come and see like traveling, to see their family, to see their relatives. They're like their other selves in other dimensions.
Wow, sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like what you do in our dreams, but we cannot control it. In our dreams, you can see it or not. You can see other dimensions, but through those portals, through those channels, you can talk to your other selves in another dimension. But of course it can go through meditation. You cannot, but you can control it. You have more control than when you're dreaming.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And you said that you report back to the council that it is ready?
The pyramid, this one is ready, yes. It has all the tunnels functioning, all the channels. It's a tunnel like a channel. Once you're inside, you have access to other dimensions. You have knowledge, like I played with the building houses.
Nice. And would you say that there, within those structures of the pyramids, are there beings or are there others within those structures, within all these different dimensions?
Not yet. The pyramid is not occupied yet. It's vacant. It's waiting. It's not functional yet. It will be only functional in another dimension. When the Earth goes to another dimension, there is preparation going on. And those humans who can jump with Earth to another dimension, some of them will be using pyramids, but some of them not. It just depends.
Interesting. Okay. And so once you give the council that recommendation, then what happens?
This recommendation is in favor for the Earth, because one of the guardians still trying to find the solution to save this planet. And I'm glad he found this. Well, I'm glad I'm the one who eventually found this solution. I just recall from you, Suzanne, actually. You gave me a great message to me, to Eugenia. You gave it to Eugenia in this form, like the pyramids. Don't forget about the pyramids. And it's so interesting because I visited the Queen of the Fairy yesterday. She told me there is an alternative way, but Eugenia didn't get it. Only later on, like now, she thought about the pyramids, and that's what you told her. And she made this connection. I mean, me as guardian now understand that the pyramids can be used as portals. It means that they cannot sacrifice Earth. It has very valuable facilities. And, you can sacrifice people who are not ready to go, but you cannot sacrifice the planet. It's a valuable source. It's a portal to other dimensions.
So the pyramids can be the power source that spikes the energy that we talked about yesterday? Is that what you mean?
The pyramids, they work as facilities, as a portal. I don't think they work as an energy source, no. It's connected to the energy. It's the channel. These are not the sources of energy, but they channel the energy.
Okay. And the placement of the pyramids and the certain spots that they're in, what do you see about that? Why were they placed in these particular areas?
Oh, that's the perfect arrangement. It's so clear because 3 of them will channel the energy into one beam. It's like you have 3 flashlights, but they're not bright enough. But if you put them on one beam, they give a beam together. So the energy is coming, again, the pyramid that you see on the surface, it's only the cap. The pyramid itself, it's inside the Earth. It's like if you inverse this pyramid bottom up, but top down, it will look inside the Earth, into the center of the Earth. That's the actual pyramid. It's like a flashlight. Again, the actual light is coming not from the top of the pyramid you see, not from the cap, but from the bottom of the pyramid.
Oh, okay. That's a whole new way of looking at it, I think.
Yeah, and the light is coming from the bottom of the pyramid because the main energy is not from the surface, not from people. People can only help Earth to spike the energy. The energy is coming from the center of the Earth.
So what or who created the whole complete pyramid going deep, deep, deep into the Earth and the top?
I mean, who created?
Mm-hmm. Who and how?
Oh, the council, of course. The council created, because when every planet is born, they put these pyramids on every planet. That's their way in, that's the corridor, that's the channel. But if the planet is not ready, the planet Earth is a very young one, they let to use these pyramids only a few times when the so-called pharaohs came in. the Egyptian civilization, it was the first place when the council stepped in. They built this. They used the pyramids. They tested the pyramids, and but the humanity was so naive and young at the time. I guess we know all of it. What they say about the pyramids, they never used as to bury their gods. Of course, they're just the channeling. They use for channeling the energy. The council built the pyramids. They put them. There are pyramids on every planet. But the pyramids are not visible, only the tops are visible. And those tops were not visible. Well, they're not supposed to be visible, in fact. Just the sand kind of there were more sand, and they're supposed to be hidden, the pyramids. Only the humans are not supposed to see them, only the guardians.
Oh, interesting.
But even if they see them, it's fine, because they cannot read the language anyway. To get inside, you need to read the language, you need to unlock it. I mean, to unlock to another dimension. I read that language, and I saw, after I was able to read it, I was able to get inside the pyramid, the bottom part of it, the actual pyramid, which is upside down. The actual pyramid is upside down, and the top is the one only the cap of that pyramid, like an opener, like a cap when you open it to get to the bottom to get the solution that is inside the. It's like a vessel.
Okay, so what we see now wasn't really supposed to be seen, but it's there now.
It's there, but it's okay because you see it, but you don't know what to do with that anyway.
Okay. And the other pyramids that are found on Earth in different places, do they behave the same way?
There are other pyramids, yes. Yeah, they all behave the same way, and not just on this planet, on other planets. Mm-hmm. It's the same design. The bottom-up pyramid, upside down. It's a design like it's a flashlight. When you hold a flashlight, the light is coming from the white part of the flashlight, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how the pyramid works. They're like big projectors, so that's the right word. They're projectors. When you put the the light from the projector together, you will amplify it. Let's say when 3 pyramids, the light will come through the energy, it will be amplified hundreds times. It's not like it will be tripled, no. The design, the pyramids are made, it will amplify and that will be the portal, that's the energy portal. That's how the planet will communicate with other planets.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so are we to the point yet where they're communicating to the other planets?
Not the Earth, but I know how the other planets can do that because I can tune the energy. I am the guardian. The guardians, at least the head of the guardian, is allowed to tune the energy. The energy of this planet, that's how the guardian communicates with other guardians in the universe through this planet. And it's like humans talking to each other through these portals. That's the mouth of the planet speaking, kind of metaphorically.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of information. Very, very cool. Anything else that you want to share before we move on?
I think you felt it, Suzanne, when you were there. So that's the very energetical. I'm glad you visited again. It looks like it's all was planned. Your trip to Egypt, you talked to Eugenia, and then Veronica also probably brought some information. Well, now the guardian, now I know everything about. You're doing your job so well, so thanks a lot. You helped me to save the planet, to talk to the council. Because I cannot guarantee the success, of course, but it's one of the strongest points I was looking at. How I can convince the council to save the planet, because it's ready and it has the facilities. Their mouth is open, okay? So
that's good, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, because without that, it wouldn't be possible to convince the council.
Okay.
There is no energy coming yet, but it will be. Well, but now it's up to the people. The job is not done yet, of course. The Council can only give us more time. The Earth will not be accepted to the range, to the Council range, till it shows it has enough energy. Because the portal is open. Let's say you can open your mouth, but you need to say something. And this energy, your words, that will be coming from the planet, those are the people talking.
Okay, and so they're waiting for the people to
be awake and to use the energy. That's the energy.
Okay, and
the constructive energy.
And when you talk about you're talking about the planets that were put out to the periphery because they weren't.
Yeah, their mouths were shut.
Okay. Portals were shut down.
Yeah, the portals were shut down, correct.
Okay.
That's why they couldn't communicate. They tried to reach the planet I tried to reach it when I tuned the energy, but I was not allowed to use very high energy source. It's very energy draining for the universe. I was allowed only to use the small portion of that, but I couldn't reach the planet. That's why I sent the volunteers to, I will keep sending them to awaken the planet. Now it's time.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let me just go over all that information real quick here in my head. See if there's any more questions. Okay, so you've done your work with the pyramid.
Right.
And you've given your information to the council.
Correct.
And so what are they doing with that information now?
They're still hesitant. It looks like, let me see, I have this weird vision since yesterday, like a reptile follows me. So there are beings on this planet, like reptiles. They don't want the Earth go to the Council range because they want to keep the Earth for their purposes. So there is a fight inside the planet between the beings. The reptile kind of beings, I don't know. When I look at them, I see one of them right now. They're not evil, no. They're just different species. They're wise. They think they can use the pyramid, the planets. So these reptiles, they're against the Council. I mean, it's not just a fight. No, they don't fight. They're just from another. They're from a denser energy, and they also have a very advanced civilization. And there is a fight for the fate of the planet Earth, because the Council, the Guardians, they want to bring this planet to the Council range, but the reptile race, they want to keep the planet from another side of the periphery. So the planet is on the periphery. On the left side of the periphery, let's say, there is a Council range. On the left side, or on the right side, the Council. On the left side, there is another race. And it's like an opposite to the Council.
And they're both wanting to...
They're both wanting, the more planets they have, the more energy they have.
Oh, I see. So what's done about that? I mean, that's kind of a conflict of...
It's a conflict of power. And now the Earth is kind of draining the energy from the Council because it cannot generate the energy yet. The energy can be generated only when there is an exchange in energy. Let's say when you talk to people, you feel that you like talking to them. You like them, but on their energy level, there is an energy exchange. The same for the planets. The planet Earth cannot exchange energies with other planets, but not because it's weak, that's how we call it, but it's weak because it's not tuned to that energy level yet. Because the other side, the dark side, wants to keep it under the control, so the energy, let's say different color energy, so the planet will be generating energy eventually. But the question is what color, what sign? I mean, what color, is it a plus or minus energy? For Council, it's, let's say, positive energy. Positive, not good, just positive. But for the other race, for the dark race, the reptile ones, it's a negative sign, but it's not just evil, no, it is different. It's a different wavelength, I would say.
So how does the ultimate decision get made of who's going to have control over that?
The Council actually, they don't care because they have their energy generally like your planet with crystals. And those planets that kind of still debating if they need to go to one wavelength or another, but Earth decided it really wants to go to the Council range, the planet Earth, but it's been under another, well, I don't know how to call it specifically, but there is another like an alternative council, a reptile government council. Well, reptile because, I don't know, maybe just Eugenia brain presents us as a reptile. They're different, they're darker with big yellow eyes. And it's like another race, not the human race.
Okay, so in the meetings that we were discussing in the last session of making the determination if Earth would bring its energy up enough to...
enough energy. Well, when I say enough energy of that wavelength. The energy of the council is taking, because the energy exchange is getting within a certain range. So like a spectrum, like our visible light, it goes from one wavelength to another. But in there, well, they have their own range as well. The range that the council is functioning. And if the planet Earth is able to interact, communicate at that range, I mean the wavelength range the light is generated from, then it will be accepted to the council, and the Earth really wants to do that. But again, it's not just up to the planet, because there are different species that controls the mind of the planet. I would say that, and they keep the planet mouth shut, because there is another race that wants to keep control over this planet, kind of rewire its brain, the planet brain. And those volunteers who are on the Earth right now, they're trying to tune the Earth to the right wavelength, to the right vibration.
Okay, thank you for that. And so yesterday we kind of got left on what I call a cliffhanger. We didn't know how the council was going to decide with the information that the guardian you presented to them about Earth. Has a decision been made yet about that?
Not yet, but it's close. It will be still... Well, now today's, in this current today lifetime, in the Earth lifetime, I just found this portal on the Earth, and it's a big accomplishment for me. It's one more credit for the Earth.
And the portal being the pyramid?
Yes. The portal, because that's the main pyramid that has this information. The other two, they just accumulate, they just amplify the energy source coming from the main pyramid.
Interesting.
Yeah, we found it. I found it. My guardians found it. You found it. So that's it just increases the credibility of the planet Earth to get inside the council range.
Okay. And so what does the council think about that discovery?
They haven't made their decision yet. But my contacts in the council, those who I was able to interact with, they told me that it's a very good, it's one of the crucial points, but they're not sure about the people yet, because some of the people, they're under the reptile influence, and they don't want to go to the upper dimension. They want to stay where they are. It's like more physical dancer. Like those reptile races, they enjoyed all the physical gifts of this planet, like money, power, I don't know. Well, everything that is now in human's mind, and it looks like now the planet, why it was not easy to awaken people, because they're all under that, the physical body of this planet, like, again, many physical pleasures. That's what people's minds are into it. But you cannot blame people for that, because most of the people, including actually Eugenia, they are all mixed. So there is a reptile part in her body as well. And this is normal, otherwise she couldn't adjust to this body. Well, it's all mixed. Our genes are mixed. There are human DNA, there is reptile DNA. And when they talk about changing human DNA, well, it's changing both ways. Some of them going to more reptile, some of them more humane.
And so how does that relate in to the concept that we talk about of the new earth and where souls will end up going?
Well, the new earth will split. One of them will go to the fourth dimension, one part, and the other one stay in the reptile. And, well, it's complex, it's complicated. The earth will go to the fourth dimension, and that's why the portals are, but kind of a shadow of it will stay in another dimension, and I don't know what happened to that shadow. The shadow would either go to the reptile race if they adopt it, if they think it's powerful enough, but they don't want the shadow, they want the whole planet. That's why the reptile race is trying to put the earth on the power. It's like when you have the whole body, but the shadow, the replica, would stay behind. But the replica is not powerful enough unless you charge it. It's complex, but the main body of the planet, the Earth wants to go to the council range. She made the decision, but it's not powerful enough to get there, and the council, it will see if it's ready to accept it only if the planet can prove it.
And the planet proves it to the council by what?
By increasing the energy, by showing that they have enough energy. That energy, the positive energy, let's call it positive energy. The positive, the light energy dominates the dark energy. That's what they need to, the planet needs to prove to the council.
Okay. And so yesterday when we were visiting the pink planet and you were asking to use some of their energy, but it was determined that that's probably not as good of a solution as the Earth creating its own energy. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I'm glad the fairy told me that. Otherwise it would be a wrong decision. She gave me a hint to find the energy amplify inside the planet, because these are the pyramids.
Okay, so that's the next information.
That's the next information, right? That's what the guardian got from the pink planet. This piece of information that look inside the planet. The pyramids are not the energy sources, they're the energy amplifiers. It's like they're like a flashlight, but you need to have a battery to make it. The battery itself cannot give you light, only the flashlight can.
Okay. So from your perspective then, what's the battery that will...
The battery, that's the humans, the energy workers, connected with the earth itself. It's like it's all communication, charging. The volunteers need to bring the energy. The volunteers are on the surface. Let's say when the skin of the planet will generate enough energy, it translates the signal to the brain of the planet, which is inside the planet. The center of the planet is the brain of the planet. The brain and the heart, all the essential organs of our planet. But you see, it's like when we touch something, we can feel it. The receptors, all the people are kind of receptors of the planet. It's like the skin of the planet. All the information is coming from the skin. I don't know what the eyes of the planet, though. I don't know. It's deep inside somewhere. I don't have an access to it. Maybe later in other sessions, another session or sessions. But from what I am getting right now, we humans, they're like skin of the planet. That's how the planet can get all the information about the temperature, about it's one of the senses. And since the planet is blind, your eyes are not open yet, only the mouth, kind of. But the skin is what's important. Let's say when a human is blind, the only senses they have is the ears and the skin. The planet always had its ears. It can communicate, it can hear what the other planets say. They can hear the council, The ears are open. The skin, it's the people. So if the energy enough to, spike the planet to brain, kind of to charge the planet brain, then the planet brain will recharge the skin back, recharge all the people to give them more power, to give them more skills. But it can only be done through the plane, through the planet itself. The volunteers, they're charging, kind of awakening the people, making the planet skin functioning very well, and then the planet brain will connect to, it's all connected. It's like, again, that's why I saw this picture. You kind of touch something, you feel it, and you can read it.
On the pyramid,
on the pyramid, right? It's all a big metaphor, right?
Right. Okay, that's a pretty brilliant metaphor, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the Guardian is good with metaphors, right?
Right. Okay, so then, in a broader scope, what is the Guardian hoping to achieve with these sessions that we are having?
That's actually, that's a way how we can awaken the planet, the communication. It tells the people how it works, hoping they can, the sessions should be posted. And people should know what they're looking for because they're still blind. They know that the planet should go to, well, at least the volunteers, of course. I'm not talking about all the people, because some of them still under the reptile influence. They will never give up on their money and the luxury that they have. But those volunteers who wants to go to another dimension with the planet, because most probably there is 99 probability now. It's not 50-50 anymore, it's 99.
Ooh,
that
yeah.
And then go up to the council range, because we discovered the portal, we discovered the pyramids.
Okay, so when you were making that discovery of the pyramids in Earth time, when was that?
It just happened now.
It just happened now. Okay.
They knew there is pyramid, that it's only the caps. They didn't see the pyramid itself. It just happened now.
Okay. And since you said that those pyramids are supposed to be covered,
Yeah.
are there many, many more around the planet, or have we found the most important ones?
We found the most important ones.
And would you say those are the ones that are in the Giza Plateau?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you call it.
Very interesting. Okay. And that we're aware of them because we can see the cap of the pyramid. Is there a reason why those appeared where others have not?
Yes. Yeah, there is a reason. So you could see them. You can tell Eugenia. Eugenia can tell the Guardian. The Guardian can tell the Council. Yeah, it's a chain reaction.
Okay.
It's not just Eugenia, of course. It's not just you and Eugenia. There are other information, the Guardian. There are other people that give the information to the Guardian. But Eugenia is the main source of the Guardian.
Okay.
She's the Guardian put more energy, more power into Eugenia than into others. But there are other sources as well.
Okay, so let me ask about this. She and I were talking before we started the session today. I mean, she's obviously in the world of academia and science, and so there's kind of this, her focus has been in the physical, but this information is coming beyond the physical and how to reconcile the two for herself or even others maybe listening to these sessions. What information can you give to help her or others meld this knowledge between the physical and the non-physical?
You can't. It's their free will. What you can do, just post this information and to let other people listen to it. It should be posted in different ways, in written, in sound, maybe a movie made of it, if there are any people who are willing to invest in those movies. This information should be delivered to human minds. That's how we can raise their vibrations. The knowledge, it's not just through the QHHT. QHHT, again, is an entry level, is an entrance. Without this session, Eugenia would never deliver this information to her guardian. It's just a portal, just a channel. But the main source that would bring people's tune up to the energy level is the knowledge. The knowledge is coming from the reading, from the hearing. And maybe there are some musicians who can put this information to their music and tune it to the human's mind.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so there are so many ways on this planet, ways to deliver this information.
And so when she questions after the session the information that came through her, what would you tell her about that?
Well, she's listening now. She's still skeptical. Well, just she's doing her job. She's delivering the information. Her left brain will be always with her. It will be always a debate. It will be always, well, the debate between the two brains of hers, but she needs to have her left brain still, because she needs to translate this metaphysical information into the physical concept of this body. For that, she needs to have her left brain functioning. That's why she's born as an ambidex, with two brains fully functional at the same time.
Oh, is she aware of that?
She knows that, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, it's a side effect to accept the metaphysical part. At the same time, when the balance will be shifted to the right brain, she will, well, it's a good communication between them. It's normal. What she's questioning is absolutely normal. She should not be afraid of that.
Okay.
And she should not get rid of that. No, this is normal.
Okay, and so she can just kind of work herself through the doubt, or...
Right. She just accept it, embrace it. It's a part of her nature. This is normal. Because that's why she can bridge two parts of this planet, the metaphysical and physical, with both... with having access to both parts of her brain. It's like speaking two languages, Russian and English. It's like she can translate this information to Russians and to those who speak English. The same as having two brains. She can translate this information to scientists and to those who the spiritual side.
Okay.
I mean, the humans who on the spiritual side.
So that's what we were discussing, that as well, as how do you combine these two different types of cultures, that the very physical academic and the metaphysical, who don't need the proof, so to speak, that the physical needs. How do we meld those so that they can benefit from each other's knowledge?
Well, we need to awaken more people from academia. That's why Veronica and Eugenia in this business. And again, we send them both. It will be hard for one of them to survive. That's why we send them both as a group, two of them. Now they found you. You're one of their groups. Well, you're in one group, Suzanne, three of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're connected on the spiritual side as well. There is very strong connection between three of you. But the idea is that you need to connect. That's the time when the physical world, through academia, again, how this planet is getting knowledge through academia, correct? You start from your, let's say, how they call it, kindergarten, right? Then you go to the college, to the school, then you go to the college, and then you start teaching people. Then you go to the PhD level. That's the level where both of them are, so they can start teaching people. But opening classes is one of the ways, but there are other ways. Opening classes is an advanced one. I anticipate it happens not earlier than in 10, 20 years. But they teach other people who might open the classes later on. So in the Earth time, it's, for a shift to happen in the human mind, 3 generations must change. So we're talking about at least 60 years, if it's a total shift. But it started now, so they need to bridge these two different parts of the human minds, the physical and the metaphysical, together.
And the best way that you see that occurring would be what?
Just do what they do. They're doing it right. They're on the track. That's why they're healthy. If they start experiencing pain, it means they're on their own side. They step on their own side.
Oh, okay. So use that.
Being healthy, it's a good sign for them.
Okay. That they're on the right track, that they're doing what they need to be doing?
Correct.
Okay. And right now they're both...
They're both healthy. They're both doing their job. Yeah, they need to stay in academia. They cannot give up on that, because if they quit, they go to metaphysical part, they will lose the bridge. The planet can survive only if there is a bridge between these two parts. And the QHHT should awaken more scientists. And not just scientists, of course. The scientists, they are those that can teach people. They are like mentors for the young generation. But there are also, as you mentioned, leaders of industries, because it's also a bridge. The leaders of industry, those leaders, they can awaken people their own way. Supply this planet industry that's for the profit. Academia is not for the profit, it's for knowledge. But the planet still, the dimension speaks the profit language. What can I get, right? Why the industry leader should be awakened. It cannot sell the products if it doesn't bring profit. It means the profitable business is through the movies. That's how they keep accessing humans' mind, through the movies.
Through the movies.
Through the movies. It's called science fiction, but a lot of people think it's normal. In ideal case, it would be nice to replace all those violent games that the teenagers now playing with, killing each other. That's the reptile vision of this planet. But with a more constructive one, let's say planting a more constructive, let's say, building houses, right? There are other games. Planting flowers, converting energy from flowers to something else. This for kids to create, not to destruct. Most of the games are destructive. This is bad. That's why the council is not sure about this planet. Most of energy is destructive here anyway.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
That's where the leaders of the industry should step in and to keep supplying the movies, the video games for the kids, but with the more constructive video games. They challenge their brain, not to destroy their brain. Those violent games, they just destroy their soul, their brain.
Oh, I understand.
Well, not just destroy the soul, it cannot destroy it. They darken the soul. Well, darken in terms of going into another wavelength. Again, there is no evil. It's just a different wavelength.
Okay, understood. Thank you for all of that. Her question then, after all of that, was this information that she's accessing through these sessions, is it all real? She would like to know.
Well, it depends how you call it. It's if it's real for you, it is real. And the reality is a kind of... it's an illusion, okay? There is no reality. There is just the information. This is the information. In your language, it exists. It means it's real. Even if it's a fantasy, even if it's a kind of science fiction, that's the information. It is real. It exists. Yes, it is real in your language.
Okay, very good.
Now, when you believe in that, it starts being real for them, for Eugenia. When she believes in that, it is real. When she doesn't believe, it's not real.
Right, so it's all the person's perspective.
Of course.
Right.
It's their free will, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we were talking about that earlier. You have a choice of believing in it or not believing in it.
You put it in the perfect way, you have a choice, right? She got this message. If she decides to believe, it will be real. If she decides not to believe, it will not be real. That's why I showed you that portal, that chair, the space where she can expand the space and build houses. Because if she can make it, if she believes it can be made, she can build, she can put her energy in a constructive way. She will never do anything in a destructive way, no. She can either be neutral and do nothing, or she can build, she uses her energy to construct things. That's her belief system. If she believes in this information, she can use it for good.
Very good. Okay.
It's not just her. She's just one of the she's one of the humans, one of the billions, and that's the way for them in. But they need to be helped, like the television, video games for the kids. You need to focus on young generation now. But the adults should be awakened, of course, to teach the kids to buy them right tools, to write them the right video games. But they need to have options. That's why the leaders of the industry, of the movie industry, should be awakened to put their resources, money into the right video games to awaken parents, and then the parents can to let parents to buy them, the parents will awaken kids.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
It's always a fight for the human soul. For the soul, not for human soul in a human body. But the soul, it's just either one side, the dark or white side can take it. And this is normal. And people also have choice, but the kids, they need to have options.
So is that an earth issue, or does that happen in other places, the choice between the dark and the light?
It's always happening in other places, but the form, how it's happening on the earth, it's... in this particular form, it's happening on the Earth only. The concept itself between the dark rays and the light rays, it's happening in all the planets. But on this planet, it took this form, like a human form against reptile form, something like that.
So in relation, a place like the pink planet, what would there be that light and dark there as well?
Oh, no, they already made their decision. They will be always on the light side, on the light side, on the bright side. The pink planet is 100% in the council range. The planet is the one who was debating about. They're debating about the planet Earth. The planets on the periphery, they haven't decided. Well, now the planet Earth decided, but it's like when you. It's like when you decided to do something, but you need to do something eventually, right? So the planet decided they want to do that, but now she needs to do that. And also, when you decided, let's say, to go and visit your family, is the family ready to accept you or not? You need to prove it to the family that you need to be in that range, even if the relatives love you. But they're not sure if you need to be in the range because you might be a bad influence for other relatives. So it's like it's all connected. If you, as an outlier, decided to go back to your family, but the family, let's say your parents, your siblings are ready to accept you, but your parents are not because you can be a bad influence for the other siblings. So that's why you say, yeah, you promise, you be good, you do well, but you need to prove it. And the way to prove it, to show your energy is high enough, like your inner, that your good intentions are real. It's not the way for the reptiles into the council range, or they would love to do that. So, but that's why the council is very careful.
Okay. And so I'm just curious, is the decision just for Earth to move out of the periphery back into the fold, or will all of the planets on the periphery move as one?
Only the Earth and the solar system. Now they're talking about the solar systems. But there is, it's not just they're moving, it's not that simple. You see, there are planets. There is a list that I hold in my hands now. There is a list of planets. And some of them, like Earth, they made the decision, they really want to go. That's why the council will be about to decide if the Earth will be accepted or not. But there are other planets, of course, on that list as well. Earth is one of them. And some of them, when I call they need to sacrifice, it means that they're not considered at this council. There is no hope for them to get to the council range.
And there had been discussion, as we talked about yesterday, that Earth wouldn't make, that would be sacrificed at some point? if it didn't get it together, or
the Earth now, it will not be, 99% if it proves. Well, what I meant by sacrifices, it's not just it will be killed or something. It will be, it will stay behind. Either on it will not stay in the periphery, because the periphery, it's like, like a probation time.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot stay there forever. They need to move eventually. It's like your desktop on your computer. You cannot put the documents on the desktop all the time, otherwise the computer will crash eventually. So it's like a probation time, and there are some planets, and some of them stay and they just put on the so-called periphery. They will stay there till the next council meets. But the Earth, now it's time for Earth to, it's time for the council to decide if the Earth will be accepted in the range, or she goes into another side.
Okay. Does the council have a message that they would like to get through?
Listen to a guardian. Do what they tell you to do. Yeah, just get more information to the people. Yeah. The council will always have connection through the guardian. So if you want to learn more about, and Eugenia, her left brain, doesn't want the session to happen because she thinks it's a waste of time, but actually you, Suzanne, know that this information is important. So if there is a way, bring Eugenia back and keep channeling through her. As you mentioned, there will be nice books to be written. So just, despite how she thinks now, just deliver this information to the community, to the people of this planet. Just keep having sessions with her one way or another. When you meet on other occasions like the workshops, have a chance and keep channeling through her, because that's me, that's guardian talking through her, and we have deep connections between both of us. So that's why she can tell you more, even if she doesn't believe in that she's listening right now. This kind of pyramid business looks like a nice plot for science fiction movie,
right?
But it's real.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you read my mind. I was thinking these could be series of movies for sure.
It should be a series of information movies. Keep channeling her. I mean, she would love to see you, of course. She would love to see you and give a session. Well, she, meaning me, as a guardian. But she is Eugenia. She has other things to do, of course, but she knows it's important. Just reach out to her, ask her for another session, and find a way to do it again and again, because she's full of knowledge. Pyramids is only a part of it. She has a lot of information. I have a lot of information to deliver.
Right. Well, we are so grateful for all of the information. We definitely make sure that these sessions continue. She can do sessions as well with Veronica, which would be a little bit more easier for her to do in between the sessions with myself.
Well, with Veronica, there will be another information coming, but not the one that you want to deliver. Veronica's sessions cannot replace your sessions, Suzanne. Those are different. Because through Veronica's session, Eugenia is a channeler. She can channel the information that Veronica needs to get. And through your sessions, she will deliver the information that you and the QHHT community wants to get. These are different types of information.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Understood. Okay, well, we will definitely do our best to keep these sessions going, even if her left brain thinks that they're not worthwhile or needed. We know they are. We know they're very, very valuable, and that they are helping many.